that you can put on the fridge. Collect all 16. And we're going to start things out with Pudge, the sweetheart. Pudge was found in a box on the side of the road, and someone brought her to me because they know I am the sucker that just can't say no. But the ones you rescue are always the most appreciative, so we always encourage people to adopt from their local shelter like Wishbone, because there are so many homeless kitties out there that would make wonderful companions. And bonus, with Pudge, you can pet her after the show, because she loves to be mauled by groups of strangers, oddly enough. So for Pudge, the sweetheart.
Oh.
Next up, we have Sookie, the airhead, and her half-sister, Buffy. Both from Tri-County Humane Society out of Princeton, Illinois. Now, I call them half-sisters because they're actually found around the same time period, and they were very close in age, but they were found underneath two different people's porches on opposite sides of town. They needed bottle feeding, so I agreed to take over their care until they found their forever home, which ended up being mine. Because that's one of the dangers in fostering is sometimes you get attached and keep them yourself. So let's hear it for Sookie and Buffy. Next we have the original, and for the longest time only male in the show. It's Oz the Clown. Oz. That's not that I'm anti-male or anything like that, but let's face it, females work harder. The females kind of hold the show together pretty much through everything. They do all the tricks. Oz does like one trick in the whole show, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't do it right. Nonetheless, after 6 long years of waiting, he has finally earned his own button for doing his trick consistently wrong. And he is a very special cat because I've had him since he was only 2 days old.
Aww.
And actually, I do have some exciting news about Oz. He has recently joined the band as our new guitar player.
Aww.
So let's hear it for Oz the Clown. Well, then Wiki came along. Wiki's now the second male in our show. Wiki, the daredevil. And I did not intend on adopting Wiki. He was brought from the Illinois Government Rescue Plus, another organization I fostered for. And he was brought with his 2 brothers, Quincy and Frisco. They found homes rather quickly, but nobody wanted Wiki. So I taught him to do some cool things. I put him in the show thinking that might help, but still, no takers on Wiki. The weeks turned into months, and everybody's getting attached at this point. And my own cats loved him as well. He was quite popular in the cat troop. But then that day came. He did get adopted. I was so sad to see him go. But as luck would have it, he was returned 2 weeks later for biting and scratching his new owner at night.
Oh.
He became the Wiki Monster. And as he was brought back, the first thing he did was run up this pole, leap to that rope, rappel down, and then started beating back and forth on the catwalk for free.
Oh.
That's when I realized that Wiki did not want to be a single unemployed cat. Wiki wanted to be an Acro cat, so I made it legal. Wiki's a daredevil wherever he may be. And for some of our younger Acro cats, we have little Oski, a barn kitten from a litter of 6, whose mother was killed by a coyote. I helped the bottle raise the litter, and of the group, Oski just seemed to have that right attitude. So I made her an Acro cat. She's known as the Sneak because frequently you see her sneaking off stage in the middle of the show. And then later on she comes trotting back across with a whole chicken breast in her mouth. Part of someone's sandwich. She's also our backup drummer, so you may hear her drum later as well. So Oski, the Sneak. And then, of course, we can't forget about our youngest Acro cat, named after a beer sign I saw in New Orleans. It's Jack, the troublemaker.
Aww. Jax and her 2 brothers were left in a cooler outside of a truck stop off of I-80.
Fortunately, they were found and they were taken over to Tri-County Humane Society. And I was in town for a visit, and I stopped by the shelter. And they said, oh, there's someone we want you to meet. And they introduced me to this bosnian kitten that they had nicknamed Troubles. And she was beating up on her two brothers who were slightly bigger than her at the time. So I knew she was mine. I took her home that day. A few months later, I was back in town. I stopped by the shelter again. I saw that her two brothers were still there. So I ended up fostering them, taking them on the road, and found both of them good homes in Colorado. So the whole family now has a happy ending. So let's hear for Jax, the troublemaker. Jax. Your chariot awaits. Jax. Yeah, you're done. You're done, Jax. Yeah, we'll escort you back. It's your favorite color. Her favorite. You can't just sit out here the whole time. We have other cats.
Want to bet?
Jax, right here. All right, another round of applause for Jax. All right, and of course we need Annie. Bring out. Annie's not here. Oh, all right. Well, Annie, the helper, went off to help somewhere else, I guess. We'll bring out Buggles the nerd. Now, Buggles is kind of a social nerd. She does not have any cat friends. She prefers the company of humans. So we let her hang out in the office with us, and she helps out with the filing and the paperwork like cats will do. And, you know, she does pull some pretty interesting websites. In fact, she even has a Twitter page, Buggles the Cat. But if there was ever a cat born to tweet, it was Tuna. Shortly after Tuna started tweeting, Buggles started tweeting, and now there's a war going on between them as they argue over who is the top cat. And so let's hear for Buggles, the nerd. And in just a moment, Tuna is going to be coming out, the star of our show. And she's going to participate in a little contest against our groundhog, Garfield.
Oh.
What kind of contest could we have between a cat and a groundhog? Any ideas? Bowling, yes. We're going to have a bowling tournament. Now, who thinks that Tuna will win this bowling tournament? Make some noise if you think Tuna's going to be the winner. And how many of you think Garfield the groundhog? Well, Garfield is actually a pretty good choice because he really cares about the bowling. As soon as I gave him the job, he immediately went to work. He went online, he researched, he watched videos, he even joined a league. Tuna doesn't really care. She never even checks her score. Very disappointing. Now, everybody always wants to know, what's the deal with the groundhog? Well, I used to work in an educational zoo. I used to run an educational zoo, and the groundhog was one of my favorite animals. So I decided I couldn't just start a cat show and not bring the groundhog along. So he's actually going to be part of the cat show. And people always want to know, hey, do groundhogs make good pets? That's the other question I always get about the groundhogs. And the answer to that is, what's your definition of a good pet? If a good pet is one that chews on anything wooden, digs a burrow into your couch, and then drags all your clothing and important paperwork into it, then they make excellent pets. So, Garfield the groundhog. All right, Garfield. Go first. You know what to do, Garfield. You can do it, just like you've been practicing. You've got this, Garfield. Go for it. You've got this. Just hit it right down the middle.
All right.
All right, we're going to set things up for Tuna. Twirl around one more time, Garfield. Show how handsome you are.
Oh.
Okay. Now it's Tuna's turn. Oh, we don't have Tuna. That's right.
He was out here somewhere.
Maybe we need to corner.
Well, I guess we're going to bring out the chicken. And the bowling animal.
Are you serious?
It's not like her to miss the bowling. I mean, she cares and all. All right, now this is probably the second time the chicken has ever bowled. Yeah, Tuna, I think, went to look for the cat ears and the catnip. All right. What do you think? Can you do it? Okay, you can do it. Right there. Just hit it right in the center. Right in the center. Right in the center. Yeah, right there. You can do this. You can do it. You can do it. There's a reward in it for you. Do it.
It's okay. So I still came up backstage.
Right in the center. Right in the center. Do it. I know you didn't get notice about this, but we didn't know Tuna was going to disappear. Just do it. Just go for it. Just go for it. Come on, Gregory. Come on, Gregory. You can do it. It's just like the tambourine and everything else. You can do this.
Oh.
One pin left. Well, let's see if we pick up the spare. I think she's got it now. I think she's got it. We cheated a little that first one, but all right, you can do it. We still have to find Tuna anyway for this next part. Does anyone see the white cat?
Oh, she went out there.
There you go.
Oh.
Butterball. Well, at least she gave it a good try. Let's hear for Gregory. Everyone look under your seat. You can see a white cat. Who knows where she could have gone? I guess there's a lot of places she can hide. All right, well, in just a few moments, we are going to have the band play. Maybe the cowbell. She likes the cowbell.
We got one.
Oh, Annie, right? That's a start.
That's not what we need, but that'll do.
But yes, in a few moments, the band is going to play. The Rock Cat's the only cat band in the entire world. And that makes them the best. And Tuna is manager of the band, which is why we